Hello. Is there a sound? No. No? Is there a sound now? Type 1? Okay. Hello, the warrior. Yeah. Well, Trixie, mahal na mahal kita, kaya pagbibigyan kita doon sa, hello, Mami Lou. Pinapa-record ko sa director ko yung kay Sasu. 50 minutes and 07 na. Just to be fair, hindi tayo umiiwas sa debate. But remember, Sasot is anti-American. Saka may mga misinformation siyang sinabi. First, ang basic human help is kailangan bang distinction between a refugee and an employee? Ano ba naman kayo? Hindi kayo tutulong kung di refugee? Kung empleyado na, hindi nyo tutulungan? Simple lang ang tanong eh. Ganyan. Yung puso nyo ay patitigasin nyo dahil sa hindi sila employee? Yan ang first question. Nung tinanong nyo ako, bakit nag-request si Biden kay Bongbong Marcos, go to my first, when they first made the stand. Sabi ko, may problema siya. Pinatuyan niya ni Sasso. May problema siya. Kasi mainit ang politika sa US. Hindi ba tama yung analysis ko? Naduwag si Biden. Kaya naghanap sa misinformation po. Hindi lang Pilipinas ang hiningan ng tulong ng bansa ng US. I will play the after yung kay Sasod, ipi-play ko naman kayo yung Babes Romualdez. Doon, siguro hindi nyo alam ang sinasabi kong goodwill. Hindi nyo pinansin yun. Sino ang nakaisip noon na importante sa consideration is the goodwill? Kaya nga, sino sa mga vloggers na pinapakinggan nyo, maski Sasot, ang nakaisip ng goodwill issue? Not even Ben Tonton Contreras thought about it. Ulit, before this controversy started, sinabi ko na nag-request si Biden. No, it comes out to be true. Na may problema siya. Again, it comes out to be true. Sasot mismo. Iba daw ang kaso doon kay PRRD. Tumanggap siya tumanggap siya ng Afghan national na hindi ba vetted? Aliman ng may security risk, yung vetted ba o unvetted? Mga tanong na masasagot mamaya. So, in the interest of fairness, ipa-play ko na yung kay Sasot. Baka sabihin nyo, nagtatago ako eh.
That matters. Hinggil dito sa naging pahayag mo, at tinanong din sa kagabi tungkol dito sa plano nga na i-relocate itong mga Afghan national dito sa ating bansa. Is it a humanitarian act or a security threat? At ang gobyerno ba ay really compelled to accept them? It is within the bounds of the Constitution. Siguro bilang isa eksperto din, ano yung pahayag at ano yung tugon mo?
Direct.
Well, I think dapat natin kasi i-contextualize itong issue ng Afghan nationals. Kung matatandaan ninyo at ginagamit din ito ng ibang supporters ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na si Pangulong Duterte, ay nagpahayag siya na tatanggapin ang mga Afghan refugees
Ulitin mo.
nag-take over yung Taliban. Of course, nagkagulo sa Afghanistan.
Stop mo muna na kasi. Diyan ka lang muna.
Context.
Yeah.
I believe that
Stop muna ang tape.
property in the Philippines. So let me provide clarification.
Okay. Unang kasinungalingan yan Anong sabi? Ang sabi yan ng mga sinungaling na SMNI? I-relocate dito sa Pilipinas? Yung mga Afghans? I-relocate? Nandyan, hindi ko ninis. Ibig sabihin, permanent po dito. And then later on, sasabihin niya 14 days. Mali na naman niya dyan. Hanggang 59 days. Unang pagsisinungaling, yung relocate. Anong ibig sabihin ng relocate? Dito sila titira. Ang nililin lang na kaagad. Bahala kayo kung maniniwala ko sa SMNI na anti-Marcos, PBBM. Sasasot kung paniniwalaan nyo. Kaya, ayaw ko na. Basta ipilpay ko na. I-kokon ko na.
Gobyerno ba ay really compelled to accept them? It is within the bounds of the Constitution. Siguro bilang isa eksperto din, ano yung
Eksperto daw, ha?
pahayag at ano yung tugon mo hinggil po dito?
Well, I think dapat natin kasi i-contextualize itong issue ng Afghan nationals. Kung matatandaan ninyo at ginagamit din ito ng ibang supporters ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na si Pangulong Duterte, ay nagpahayag siya na tatanggapin ang mga Afghan refugees noong nag-take over yung Taliban. Of course, nagkagulo sa Afghanistan. But it was an entirely different
Bakit iba?
context. I believe that we did accept them. And I believe meron din quota na may quota tayo. At ang alam ko, ang madalas ang tinanggap lang noon, mas tinanggap natin yung mga women and children families. Itong konteksto na ito, na ating kinaharap ngayon, ay ito ay hiling ng bansang Amerika na dito muna ilagak ang mga Afghan nationals na ipaprocess nila para magkaroon ng special immigrant visa sa United States. At sabi ni
So, sila na mismo ang nag-debunk ng kanilang kasinungalingan. Diba? Unang-una, relocate. Ngayon, ilagak lang muna dito. Anong kaibahan noong pagtanggap ng mga unvetted Afghans dito sa ating bansa na tayo ang sumusuporta sa kanila kaysa sa vetted na empleyado ng US na temporary lang ang stay? May kaibahan ba? Alin ang mas mabigat na problema? Yung permanent stay or yung temporary stay? Tuloy natin.
Philippine Ambassador to the United States, Romualdez, sabi niya na meron kasing mahirap kasi doon sa Afghanistan mag-process. Kaya dito na lang.
Totoo naman yung sinabi ni Babe. Mahirap doon. Anong pagsisinungaling ginawa ni Babe? Mahirap. Kaya nga, humihingi ng tulong. Nagre-request, hindi po nagdidikta.
Pero ang hindi kasi dito lumalabas, ano bang nangyari? Bakit ang bansang Amerika ay hindi na lang ilipad itong mga ito sa kanilang teritoryo? And as far as we all know, the Philippines is not their territory.
Diba? Sinabi ko. From the very start, sinabi ko. Nataduwag sila kasi sa maliinit ang politika sa state. Diba tama ang political analysis ko? Sino sa mga bloggers na pinapakinggan nyo ang nagsabi niya? It's a hard truth. But sinabi ko, ang political analysis ko. From the very start, when I was asked by Alex Rosas, sabi ko, duwag ang mga Amerikano because they cannot stand the heat. Meron ba akong maling sinabi sa political analysis?
Bakit kailangan dito? Simple lang ang sagot dyan, MJ, no? Jade. Sa ilalim kasi ng batas sa United States, once you are in their territory, they have no choice but to process your asylum papers.
See?
Ngayon na nandito sila, pinapangako na mapapabilis daw. Para daw, madali lang daw, temporary lang daw yung stay dito. If I'm not mistaken, ang sinabing time frame is parang 2 weeks, no?
No, 59
59
days. Kasi nungalingan na naman yan.
Everyone knows.
Kasi nungalingan na naman yan. The visa that it's given to the Afghan nationals to stay in the Philippines is only good for 59 days. After which, ililipat na sila. Per agreement. Puro misinformation sinasabi niya. 2 weeks? Siyempre, mag-iisip ka, imposible ma-process ang papers within 2 weeks. Tignan mo kasi nungalingan nila.
No? Na napakatagal magproseso ng asylum papers. And ang United States right now ay humaharap sa napakalaking problema nilang ito regarding sa mga former US employees at supporters na nasa Afghanistan. Kasi naputukan dyan si Biden eh. Ang naputukan siya dyan, bakit mo iniwan? Ngayon, nung nagdala...
Diba? Sinabi ko rin na may problema si Biden. Sa aking painted scenario, may problema si Biden. Ito, President PBBM, I have a problem. Tama na naman ang political analysis ko, di ba? Kailan ko sumablay? In the interest of fairness, pinipay ko, baka kala nyo.
Naman doon, may mga Afghans na nadala sa United States. They were evacuated, but not everyone, no? Ang sabi naman sa kanya, pagdating doon, masyado... nagkaroon naman yung mga Democrats and some Republicans say na bakit mo pinabayaan? Nung dinala naman dun sa United States, ang ano naman is, let's put a break here, no? Sa pagproseso na to dahil nga because of security concerns. That's the current discourse right now in the United States. And in fact, the Biden administration proposed a bill to actually streamline the process para mapabilis itong pagproseso ng mga papeles ng Afghan refugees. Ito yung tinatawag na Afghan Adjustment Act. Para mapabilis yung pag-apply nila ng permanent status after a year of being paroled in the country. Ibig sabihin, you need to be physically there, no? But this was not passed. Now, they are not, Biden is facing a problem. The Democrats, the Republicans, of course, do not want this, and it's election time is near. So, pag dinalang niya yan dyan sa United States, baka baka mapurnada pa ang kanyang second term, no?
Yeah,
Isa pa itong dahilan. Ngayon, hindi rin naman niya maiwanan doon kasi
sabi ko na from the very start, wala silang political will. Because takot sila sa election. Nagkamali ba ako sa aking analysis? Oh.
It's also a criticism against him na pinabayaan mo ang mga former U.S. employees and former mga U.S. supporters doon ng Amerika na nasa Afghanistan. They might be at risk. So ano yung next best thing ni Biden? To look for what we call a safe country. Okay? A safe country other than the United States. At tayo yung napili ng bansang Amerika.
Bakit?
Kasi nungalingan na naman. Hindi lang tayo ang pinag-recusan na magtumulong sa Amerika. Tinapalabas niya na tayo lang ang paglagag, all the 50,000 Afghans will be processed temporarily in the Philippines. That is not true. Misinformation naman.
Pilipinas, madami namang bansa dito sa Asia na kaalyado din ng Amerika.
Well, katulad ng sinabi nila, di ba, ang atin daw alliance ay ironclad.
Lumalabas ang pagka-anti-American niya.
Well, Jade and MJ, all I can say is maybe because we are so we love to please the United States.
This will be debunked later on.
Built in our DNA, part of our colonial mentality na hindi na natin
Anti-American na naman. Linya ng dilawan yan.
About being a humanitarian. I think siguro psychopath ka na o sociopath, no? If you're not gonna be a humanitarian. Pero alam din natin na humanitarianism has a cost. And sometimes, imbis na mapabuti pa yung pagtulong mo, minsan napapasama. Things happen that way. And as an adult, and I hope that we are all adults here and the government is composed of adults, naiisip nila ito. The Philippines, when it accepts Afghan nationals, the Philippines on the refugee jargon is already considered as the first safe country that these Afghan nationals arrive in. Ang sinasabi, parang clearing house lang tayo papuntang United States. Well, that's not as easy as it sounds. The United States has no obligation whatsoever towards these Afghan nationals because they are not in their physical territory.
Kasi nungalingan na naman. Per agreement, pag sumobra sila ng 59 days, it is the responsibility of the United States to take them out. Ano naman misinformation ang gagal kay Sasso? Diyan kayo niniwala sa anti-American na yan? So far, di pa ako sumasablay.
Wala kang habol dyan. Ang habol mo lang dyan siguro is kaibutura ng puso nila, no? Which of course sways sometimes...
Maka-China yan eh, Maria.
Extreme right, depending on the status of politics in the United States.
Oo.
So,
Di ba?
we have to assume.
Di ba sinabi ko na yan? Mainit ang politika sa States. Kaya humingi ng tulong. Pwede na. It is a request. Can't you understand that it is a request? Pwede tayong humindi. Pwede tayong oo. Depending kung makakabuti ba sa ating bansa o hindi. It is a request. It is not a demand. Mga misinformation yan. Ay, nako.
About 80% na tayo ang mananagot sa mga Afghan nationals na ito. And
It is 80% though. When all of the cost is to be shouldered by the United States as per agreement. Anong kasinungaling ang pinapalabas si Sasso? Ng SMNI. Okay.
then we have to recognize them at some point in time as refugees. I'm not saying that once they arrive here, we will already accept them as refugees. Might not be the case. Pero once the United States doesn't approve their asylum or refugee status in the United States, tayo, ang Pilipinas, ang kailangang mag-recognize sa kanila. Because we're the first safe country. Kasi we don't have any option, MJ. We don't have any options. Once they're...
Kasinungaling naman yan. Per agreement, they have to take out the country. In the first place, in batches yan. In batches po yan. Hindi po sabay-sabay na 50,000 as others claim. So, kung yung 1,000 yun, hindi nilikas ng states, they are in violation of the agreement. Naintindihan niyo ba yun? Kung sa 1,000 na batch ay tumobra na sa 59 days and per agreement ay dapat silang batanggal. At hindi naman tatatanggap ng additional batches unless the 1,000 first batch or second batch are processed. Anong sinasabi ni Sasso? Puro kasinungalingan. Madali tayong mapaniwala. But look, in my political analysis, sumabalay pa ba ako?
Here, you cannot send them back to Afghanistan. That would be violating the principle of non-refoulement. Ibig sabihin ng non-refoulement, you cannot send back these people where they are in danger of being persecuted or suffering other grave human rights violations. Kaya nga,
Again, misinformation. Misinformation po. Kasi, pag hindi inilikas niyang states yung initial na 1,000, just in case hindi process ang paper, they're in violation of the agreement. So how could we accept another batch? Nag-iisip ba kayo ng correct political analysis? Naniniwala kayo sa babae o lalaking ito? Puro kasinungalingan and misinformation ang inilalahad niya sa publiko. Oo, do. You can hear me? No audio whatever? I think there is an audio. Okay. Siguro yung tape, walang audio kasi ini-explain ko na puro kasinungalingan at saka misinformation ang sinasabi. Sabi ni Trexie, wala daw eh.
sila umalis, diba? And they would like to go to the United States, hopefully, because they are fleeing. So we cannot send them back. So once they're here, they are as good as our responsibility for as long as we could imagine. Kasi there is no guarantee that the United States will give them asylum papers. No, there's no guarantee.
Well, there is no guarantee. It is per agreement that the United States guarantees na no Afghan will be left behind in the Philippines. Anong kasinungalingan na naman yan? As per agreement. Okay. So, di ba ko na ito na?
Pag nandito rin yung mga Afghan nationals, if you would like to deport them, you will pay for their deportation.
Okay. You will...
What you can do is just like, let's just welcome, like for example...
Kasinungalingan na naman. All costs will be shouldered by the Americans. Ano namang misinformation yan? Tapos maniniwala kayo sa black propaganda? Direct, natigil na naman. So, all you guys, kasi I'm having problems. I have debunked several of his claims. Don't tell me, Taxi, that I didn't play. Most of the main parts of her statements I played. And you see that there is a lot of misinformation. Now, I'll get you to the top. Di bali na. I'll get to the top. The questions which I would like to ask you. Red one, Trexibilia, Pia de Gospel. I would like to ask the director to read it for me, but you won't see her face. Direct. Okay. She doesn't want. Hard questions for Filipinos and lawyers have no don't. Hard questions. Trixie read one. Pierre de Gospel.
You know, I'm cooking.
Pierre de Gospel. These are hard questions which you have to answer yourself. Well, not
Do you need me or not?
No. You know. In 2021, Prrd was willing to accept unvetted Afghans into the country. Why did Sen IMEE not call for a Senate investigation? Why didn't Mayor SARA voice concern about the possible security risk? Remember, these were unvetted. Mamaya tatalakan ko, kaya lang isa-isahin ko muna before I play. Okay. Prrd was willing to accept unvetted Afghans without consulting the Senate or other government agencies. And nobody complained, including Sen IMEE and Mayor SARA DUTERTE. Despite the security concerns, sabi na lang ngayon. Third questions which you have to answer. This poses more security risk to our country. Unvetted Afghans or vetted Afghans? Remember, the employees of the United States were vetted. Yung unvetted Afghans, kung sino-sino yan. Walang background check. Number 4. Okay. PBBM is consulting with various government agencies, including ATC, Anti-Terrorist Council, composed of Department of Foreign Affairs, DND, represented by AFP, the DEP-ED, NICA, and the Philippine National Police. And elevated the discussion to cabinet level, and many complain about it. When it was Prrd who accepted Afghan nationals, unvetted, posing a security risk. Nobody complained. Why? Was it because it was Prrd? Masyado nang popular si Prrd na hindi pwedeng kontrahin? Nang tanong na, do Senator IMEE and BP SARA prefer the style of Prrd, former President Prrd, of deciding on his own without consultation rather than the consultative style of PBBM? Mas prefer ba ni Sen IMEE and BP SARA ang style ng dating Pangulo na gumagawa lang ng aksyon, hindi nagkukonsulta? Si PBBM nagkukonsulta. Ay, Tatay Jack, bakit mo binabanatan PRD, saka si SARA, sabi mo, hindi dapat panatan. O, ng mga taga-MSMA. Hindi pa rin ako nagbago ng filosofiya. Kung sa past, dito lang, kasi nag-comment siya dito sa Afghans eh. So, i-connect ko yung polisiya niya dati. Hindi ko siya ina-atake dahil doon sa 2021, no. Ina-atake ko siya yung stand niya sa 2023. Hindi ako umatake sa past. I'm attacking on the present, his present views. Yung sabihin, the equal opportunity, criticizer po tayo rito. When I see something is wrong, I point it out. Even VP SARA. I am protecting VP SARA. Kayo mga taga-MSMA. What can you say now? Kayong kala nyo I am not willing to attack PRD. I am willing to criticize PRD based on the present situation. Hindi yung past. May kaibahan. Do San IMEE, VP, ulitin ko. PBBM is consulting with various government agencies, including ATC, and nobody complained about it. They complain about it. Well, during the time of PRD, he made the decision on his own without consultation. Does San IMEE prefer the style of the PRD, deciding on its own without consultation rather than the consultative style of PBBM? Mas gusto ba? Mas gusto ba yung ninyo? O talagang mga PRD lang si San IMEE at mukhang anti-kapatid sa kanyang kapatid na PBBM? Tanong ko lang sa inyo. Bakit nung tan ni PRD, ni minsan hindi niya kinisize si PRD? Bakit nung tan ng kapatid niya, ilang beses na siyang nag-criticize? Ibig sabihin, diehard DUTERTE supporter din siya, DDS din siya. So yung sinasabi niyong blood is thicker than water doesn't apply to San IMEE, if that is the case. Nasasagot nyo na ba yan? Kayo? In the first place, the security risk na sinasabi ni Sara Duterte, Sara, Vice President, should be Vice President Sara Duterte. Give me, all of you, who's concerned with security risk issue involving the Afghans, can you cite to me a specific news whereby an Afghan national refugee committed a terrorist act outside of Afghanistan? Hard question to answer. Next. siya. Mas gusto niyo yung style ni PRRD na actionism. Why are PRRD, BP SARA, and IMEE when silent when Red China bullies the Philippines and loudly protest when the US makes a request, simple request. Itong kasong ito, malinaw. Binubuli na tayo ng China. Walang kang maririnig kay Sen IMEE, President Duterte at BP SARA. Bakit? Dahil ba dahil ba ay pro-Chinese sila? An anti-American? Oh, mabigat ito. Why are they not complaining about China when China bullies us? And for a simple request, made by America, by the American president, nagpo-protesta sila. Wala pa naman decision. Diba? Ang sakit ng loob ko talaga eh. Ang sakit ng loob ko kung itong mga analysis na ito hindi niyo makuha. Alam mo, pag antay ka, sarado na ang isip mo, maski mabuti ang kalalabasan. Kasi antay ka eh. Yung mga anti-Duterte, maski anong sabihin mo, sarado na ang isip na. Ganyan ang nangyayari sa atin. Kay Sen IMEE, BP SARA, South, former President Rodrigo Duterte, anti-American sila. Ulitin ko, why are FPRRD, BP SARA, Sen IMEE silent when China bullies the Philippines and loudly protest when the US makes a request? Request lang hindi demand. Ang sagot nga ni PBBM, we'll look into it. Hindi siya kagad bumayag. Meaning, he will study all the angles. I have already stated to you part of my argument yesterday that if the China sees a weak country, their tendency is to grab a territory. It happened in India. They grabbed part of the territory in India. And they grabbed totally Tibet from yesterday. Sa atin, they grabbed these parties. They were starting to grab territory. Don't tell me they have no history. Okay. Do we want a president who sides with the bully Red China and is anti-American? Kaya lamang na si Speaker Rodriguez sa butuhan, sa choice na marami. Sa nag-umpisa na, kasi silent siya, hindi siya anti-China, hindi siya pro-American. Tahimik lang siya. Inaaral ang sitwasyon. Ang governance of the country depends in two parts. Lamang si SARA sa executive, but in foreign policy, I mean, nakakalamang ang mga Romualdez. Mahirap tanggapin, pero that's the truth. Okay. Yung side naman ni Babes Romualdez, remember, Karen Davila is anti-BBM. Okay, magaling ang move ng mga Romualdez. So, every time na pabanat si Karen Davila, usually anti-American, anti-PBBM. Di ba? Ngayon, nung joint venture ang Romualdez at saka ABS-CBN, di magiging empleyado ng mga Romualdez ang ABS-CBN. Ang kagandahan ng nangyari na patas na ang pag-i-interview, hindi na bias. Political analysis din ulit yun. Okay. I am going to play the ni Babes Romualdez. Pinakinggan natin si sasot na puro misinformation at saka kasinungalingan. Ito, I will not interrupt the cake. Because I read yung mga comments ni GNL. That will suffice.
Well, Romualdez. Ambassador Romualdez, good morning to you. Good evening there.
Yes, good evening and good morning. Yeah, good morning to you and
Right.
good evening here. Thank you.
Now, let's go back first to how this started. I mean, what we're reading in the news is that the U.S. president discussed this. He requested this with President Marcos Jr. when he visited in May. Take us back there first.
Okay, well, as already, it was already said by Secretary Manalo during the hearing that the communication came to the embassy in October. We transmitted it to the Department of Foreign Affairs. Now, in May this year, when President Marcos was here in Washington, D.C., one of the talking points that we actually were expecting was the Afghan SIVs, the Special Immigrant Visa, which we briefed the President was going to be taken up by President Biden with him.
Mm-hmm.
And rightly so. He mentioned it to the President, and the President simply said that we are looking into it.
Yeah.
And that was it. So, in other words, the U.S. government, the highest levels have been really.
Tignan mo. Tama ang sabi ko. We're looking into it. Sino naman tamang political analysis? Hindi siya nag-decide kaagad. Nagkonsulta muna siya.
Asking not only us but other countries as well.
Oo.
On the possibility of being able to.
Ayun. Kasinungalingan yung kay Sasot. Na tayo lang ang pinili. Misinformation ang ginagawa ng mga anti-BBM. I cannot help but to interrupt because importanteng point po yun eh.
Process the SIVs for Afghan citizens who work with the United States or the United States government.
Yeah. Do you know how many special immigration visas the U.S. intends to grant Afghan refugees? Because the latest report is Qatar has already taken in
Oh, in
6,000
Qatar.
displaced Afghan refugees. And I'm not sure if those are temporary or they're permanently there, but they're in 2 military bases in Qatar. Does the U.S. have a target?
Well, the figures that we're getting is anywhere between 50 or even.
If you or
Ay, nako.
somebody know is one of the
May target, ha?
millions of people taking amlodipine or Novask to manage high blood pressure or other health conditions,
Handali.
then you
Na,
have
na,
the right
ay,
place. Today, I'm
siya, may target. Total yun. Total. 6,000 were already. Juan, medyo nakakaproblema ko sa tape.
one of the most frequently asked questions about amlodipine. What should I avoid while taking
Direct.
amlodipine? It's an important
Wait.
question.
This is important
Now,
kasi.
shed some light on it so you can make
Direct, find the tape again.
often prescribed as the
Yan ang wala. You'll find the tape again. Kaya ganito. So, lahat ng sinabi ni Saso, puro kasinungalingan. I will have to not
It was
into.
already. It was already.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
Well, you touched it.
Pasensya na kayo, ha?
Let's continue our discussion on Washington's request for Manila to host Afghan refugees. We're now joined by Philippine Ambassador to the United
I'm
States,
sorry, we have to
Jose
begin again.
Manuel Romualdez. Ambassador Romualdez, good morning to you. Good evening there.
This year, when President Marcos was here in Washington, D.C., one of the talking points that we actually were expecting was the Afghan SIVs, the Special Immigrant Visa, which we briefed the President was going to be taken up by President Biden with him. And rightly so. He mentioned it to the President, and the President simply said that we are looking into it, and that was it. So, in other words, the U.S. government, the highest levels, have been really asking not only us but other countries as well, the possibility of being able to process the SIVs for Afghan citizens who work with the United States or the United States government.
Yeah. Do you know how many special immigration visas the U.S. intends to grant Afghan refugees? Because the latest report is Qatar has already taken in 6,000 displaced Afghan refugees. And I'm not sure if those are temporary or they're permanently there, but they're in 2 military bases in Qatar. Does the U.S. have a target?
Well, the figures that we're getting is anywhere between 50 or even maybe even as much as 60,000. But 50,000 is the figure that we initially received. But it's not going to be all processed in the Philippines.
Oh, remember that, not all.
To be able to tell them how many we can be allowed to come into the Philippines and be processed in our country. And it was made clear to us that these are Afghan citizens who work with the U.S. government and whose life and their families are in danger. I think Senator Tolentino told you the information of what happened just the other day, which we received here in the embassy, that information given to us by the State Department, that there was in fact a plane load of Afghan citizens that were bound to leave Kabul but was stopped by the Taliban. And that's why it's very urgent for these people to be immediately moved out of Kabul.
Okay. Now, do you have any idea, Ambassador, just how many Afghan refugees either the president is open for the Philippines to host, or is the US asking for a specific number, or do you have a recommendation in mind?
No, there is no number yet, and that is the reason why. And to be very honest about it, I'm pleased that Senator IMEE actually called for this Foreign Relations Committee meeting, because it brings it all out already. I was, of course, listening to your interview with Senator Tolentino. Maybe I will have to correct him a little bit. In fairness to the Department of Foreign Affairs, especially with Secretary Manalo, they wanted first to vet this out, or to bring this out to all the different agencies, the security agencies, and all, and in fact at the level of the Anti-Terrorist Council, to be able to get their inputs on exactly how they feel
Anti-Terrorist
about this
Council, huh?
before having an announcement made by the Department of Foreign Affairs into what this whole memorandum that we were looking at into. And now that it's all out in the open, all the more that we will be able to vet this even more, and whatever information that is received by the department will obviously be taken into account. And I even suggested that perhaps this should also be passed through the office of Senator IMEE, or the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, so that the the Philippine Senate will be aware of exactly what this memorandum is all about. And then that's the only time this will be brought up to the office of the president for his approval on the recommendations that are made.
Okay.
Nothing
No
specific
recommendation.
here. These things, and we have to take this up with the United States government. If they're willing to go with what we are going to recommend, then it will now go through that process. If they say no, I think that's not really possible, then it ends there.
It ends there.
But is there a timetable? I mean, right now, what we have in the news is Malacanang is evaluating this, but this can't go on, like, I would have to say, not for the next year. Is there a timetable for this?
And we're hoping that, I think before the end of I would think that before the middle of July we should be able to make a decision. And I think the memorandum for the president's approval or disapproval, whichever the case may be,
Approval or
will be,
disapproval?
sent to Malacanang as probably as late as July 15. I'm just guessing, but that is more or less what we're tracking right now from here from Washington DC.
Okay. Now, this is a request of the United States to the Philippines. To a degree, diba, when you make bilateral relations are both of you, give and take. So
Give and take.
will this affect our relations if we don't accede or give in to this request?
Not at all. Not at all. There are many, many more things that we need to work with the United States. Some of them we've already said we cannot do it for some reason or the other.
Tinanggihan na
We have
ng
requested
ating
on many
gobyerno.
occasions by the United States to support the resolution at the United Nations. On many occasions, we also did not. So, and it did not affect our relationship with the United States. There's a mutual respect, in my
Mutual
view, between
respect.
the U.S. and Philippines, especially now. They know that the Philippines is a sovereign nation and that we have our own laws and we have things, and we want to strengthen our positions in everything. And I think it's not fair for anyone to even think that the United States is out there to push us to do this and that. I mean, the reality is, yes, we are working with the United States as far as our defense strategy is concerned. There's that's no secret at all. We've had a mutual defense treaty with the United States since 1951. We've had the VFA for more than 20 years now. We had the EDCA that was signed during the time of President Noynoy Aquino. And President Marcos is just simply implementing what was agreed upon in the past. So there is nothing really that we're doing that is out of the ordinary, so to speak. And so I think that the misinformation that's being passed around, that we're being pushed to do this, or that I am lobbying for something like this, my job is to take care and make sure that we have good relations with my host country, which
That
since
is
I'm
the
the
job
ambassador
of
here,
an
and
ambassador.
make sure that any communication that is given to us here in the embassy will be immediately transmitted to the Department of Foreign Affairs. I do not make the decisions, obviously. This is being done by the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and ultimately, of course, the President, who's the chief architect of our foreign policy.
Okay. Now, but I know you don't make the decisions, but what will it mean if the Philippines does accept to host?
Well, first and foremost, I think Senator Tolentino said it so well that we are a signatory to many of these United Nations human rights and many other agreements that we have signed in the past. And that alone is already I would say, an obligation for us to be part of that agreement and part of the global community. Now, if this, because this request comes from the United States, perhaps there is the reason why there's always that negative view of this because it's coming from the United States. Maybe there are good reasons for it, but at the end of the day, for me, it is purely humanitarian in nature.
Yeah, humanitarian.
They are really a distressed group of people, Afghan citizens, and as indicated by this, the fact that they were stopped from leaving is the urgency is there as far as the humanitarian aspect of this whole request coming from the United States. We had a history of this type of humanitarian act in the past. And I want to say that up to this day, my relationship with the American Jewish community here has been so good. I interact with them very often, and they always bring back what President Manuel L. Quezon did for the Jewish people, the Russian Jewish people. And that's always been part of that. And that's why Israel has been very good to us. Israel is helping us in many ways with some of our defense requirements. They're also been very good to our OFWs working in Israel. It is the country that does not require visas from Filipinos. So all of this is because of the goodwill that was started by President Quezon.
When I mentioned goodwill, hindi niyo piyansin, ha?
California, the Vietnamese, there were 3 Vietnamese businessmen who were in an event that I was attending, and they all came up to me and they said, "Mr. Ambassador, we just want to thank the Philippines because we were one of those Vietnamese boat people in 1976, I think, or somewhere there." And they said that they're doing so well because they were part of this economic forum that we had, and they were looking at businesses that they could do in the Philippines.
Wow, these are good stories.
So that's the reason why, to me, I see the goodwill that it creates.
Goodwill ulit.
When we help other countries, especially those that are in distress and need our help.
Okay.
That is the basis of why perhaps people are saying, why is he so intense? Is he doing this just because he's there? Whatever they want to. But that to me is really it. It's just, for me, it's a morally right thing to do. Now, the vetting issues, I totally agree. We have to vet them. In fact, I even went further. I suggested that perhaps we should really bring in, as pointed out by Senator IMEE, our security people, when and if we have a final memorandum agreement, that they should be part of the vetting process.
Part of the vetting process.
Allow our security people to sit in on the final vetting before they are allowed to come into the Philippines. And then it's part of our rules and regulations and our immigration laws, as a matter of fact. And then the other thing is that we have to limit it to the number of people and limit the
limited number of
because
people.
We also a strain that will continue on and on and on forever.
Yes. As we've seen in other countries in Europe, but yes, a time frame.
So this is really what it is. And the fact is, we are in control of what we want.
We are in control.
If we say yes, for me, I think it's a good thing that we're doing. If we say no, then it is something that I will have to explain, and we will have to explain that this is the reason why, and they will understand. But I made it clear to them about the vetting and the immigration rules that we have, and they totally agree. They said, of course, we respect whatever rules and regulations you have, and we will work with you on how we can manage that. So,
all right. Before we go, I want to ask you now. You have, I know there's. Is it a contingent of senators there, or is it just Senate President Zubiri with Senator Tolentino?
Well, we were informed by the office of Senate President Zubiri that he wanted to come to Washington, D.C., and for us to arrange for him to meet with his counterparts, a couple of senators here. And there were a couple of, I think, senators that were invited to join him. Unfortunately, some of them could not make it because of some commitments that they had. And so it ended up just being the Senate President and Senator Tolentino. Senator Tolentino just arrived, so he missed our first meeting, which was actually with the Department of State, where
Okay.
Senator Subiri, Senate President Subiri, was able to take up a lot of important matters relating to our defense and our bilateral relations, and I think the Senate President is very, very keen on having energy development of our
Nangihingi naman tayo ng
energy,
tulong
and
sa
especially
SES, ha?
clean energy. And this just falls right into what the U.S. is trying to help us in trying to bring in some new technology, not only on nuclear power, but also on solar and wind
Kakatawa.
power and many other types of alternative energies that they're using here now in the United States.
Okay. So energy
Nakakatawa.
is not part of this visit.
Excuse me again. I'm sorry. You
Yeah, no problem. The West Philippine Sea is not part of this agenda.
Well, the West Philippine Sea perhaps would be asked. Perhaps some of the senators. I think we have a meeting with a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. So obviously they're going to ask us about the West Philippine Sea. But other than that, a lot of it has to do with the economic agenda that the Senate is also wanting to hear. How can we open our economy more? And I'm so happy that the Senate President is here, because he can actually get firsthand on what many of the things that we need to do to be able to compete forgive me for the pun, but for the American pie. We need to get a piece of that pie, because our competitors are Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia, and their economies are working overtime into trying to lure all of this. Because remember, the word that they use is many American companies are now de-risking.
Yeah.
De-risk from China. They feel that the risks in China is a little high, and so they're actually diversifying to the Asian region. And this is being encouraged, of course, by the U.S. government, that if they feel that it's time for them to start moving up. The Philippines is their first choice right now, and we need to catch that. And that is what we're doing. Actually, that is what's taking a lot of our time here now in the embassy.
The Philippines
We're
is
going into economic
their first
diplomacy.
choice when it comes to economics.
Issues that we mentioned, the Afghan and everything, that's just part of it.
Yes.
But the main bulk of our thrust here now is economic diplomacy. We're trying to get as much investments that we can. The visit of President Marcos has produced a lot of goodwill and a lot of interest because of our relationship now with the United States. It's still the biggest economy in the world.
Yes. On that note, thank you so much for being on the show today. Philippine Ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Jose Manuel.
Noong una akong sinabi yung goodwill, hindi niya ako pinansin eh. Ni-explain ko na yun. It's part of the consideration in granting the request. Ngayon, the Senate President and some senators are in America trying to curry favor sa United States to help in the economic development. Hindi pa consideration yun? Magaling nga ang ating presidente po. Hindi siya ura-uradang nag-accede kay President Biden. Ulitin ko. Di ba sabi ko, duwag yung mga Amerikano dahil sa political hate? So they're seeking assistance from many countries, hindi lang po Pilipinas. As Southwood and all the other misinformers are trying to tell us. Now, between the two tapes that you heard, who is more credible? Remember, we are in full control. We shall participate in the vetting process. It is up to us whether to accept or to reject the proposal. Remember, but we are trying to curry favor sa Americans when it concerns economic development. The West Philippine Sea is diplomatically tapos. Diba? Diba? Sinabi ko yan in all my political analysis. Meron pa ba akong sumablay? Sino sa mga vlogger na pinapakinggan nyo, nagsabi ng goodwill is part of the major factor in considering whether we grant the request or not? Meron palang benepisyo ang goodwill. The OFWs are being treated well in Israel because of what President Quezon did when he accepted the Russian Jews. And Israel is, sabi niya, is helping us militarily. I told you, goodwill. Wala sa mga bloggers na pinapakinggan nyo who made that analysis. Alam ko na-influence kayo kasi kung ang misinformation, pag inulit-ulit, magiging totoo. Patunay. Today, August 17, my birthday, the Philippines' doors are open to Afghan refugees following the fall of Kabul. Malacanang said on Tuesday. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque made the assurance that as thousands of Afghans fled the Afghanistan after the Taliban fighters to control the capital. Siyempre, hindi nabet. Pero tinanggap natin without vetting the Afghan nationals. Di ba may security threat yun? Wala nang complain. Tuwang-tuwa pa sila. Katapos, binigyan ng justification ni Harry Roque. Since time immemorial, the Philippines has had jurisprudence even before Convention of Refugees welcoming asylum seekers. Di ba yung mga employees, but whatever you call them, are seeking asylum somewhere else? But sabi ni Sasot, asylum seekers. Hindi ba nagsisik ng asylum yung mga Afghan nationals? They're trying to flee Afghanistan. Meron palang Convention on Refugees welcoming asylum seekers. Galing sa mismong bibig ng presidential spokesman. Siyempre, hindi gagawa ng statement na ganyan kung walang approval si PRRD. Citing the Supreme Court decision in the case of whatever is the case, immigration and deportation, Roque said the Philippines will not hesitate to admit individuals fleeing their homeland. Nabigat ang sinabi ni Roque. Will not hesitate to admit individuals fleeing their homeland. He does not make distinction whether they are refugees or not. To hesitate to admit individuals. Dahil lang si PRRD, di kayo na-complain. When it is humanitarian reason, walang kaso yung whether he or she is a refugee or not. Kung gusto mo tumulong, tumulong ka. Kung ayaw mo tumulong, huwag ka tumulong. As because of fear of persecution. Di ba umaalis sila for fear of persecution? He also cited the Philippines' history of opening its doors to refugees, including white Russians, following the 1917 revolutionary European Jews during the Second World War, among others. Mamigat ang sabi niya. Will not hesitate to admit individuals fleeing their homeland. Hindi ba the employees of the United States are fleeing their homeland? So happens lang na they were employees of the United States. Employees of the United States. Mag-isip naman kayo. Yung mga argumento ng Sason, puro kasinungalingan. Misinformation. Pero ako, right to the pati si Sason, agreed with me that's the root cause of the request. When Nasser Roses asked me bluntly, why? I said, they lack the political will. The president asked us, our president, to help. He's one of the heads of state that was us. And it is a normal thing na mayroon horse trading as pointed out by GNL opinion. Noong panahon pangalawang tanggap po ang mga Russian Tsar was overthrown, was accepted. We accepted them. The Second World War, we welcomed Jews into our country. Sabi nga ni Ambassador Romualdez, because of what we did to the Jews, the Israel is helping us militarily, and our OFW are treated well in Israel because of the goodwill. Kala nyo, nung binitawan ko yung word na goodwill, basta-basta yun. Kala nyo, basta-basta lang yung word na goodwill. Remember kahapon? It's funny. When I say something that is important, have you noticed this? Something comes up that proves my point. Tulad ng Code of Conduct. Diba? Next day, binanggit ni PBBM why it is important to have Code of Conduct. So, sa mga bloggers na pinafollow nyo, sino so far ang consistent na correct sa kanyang political analysis? At saka ko ba tinitira ng karamihan dito? Ang tanong, correct yung political analysis ko. Because they believe the other bloggers to base their arguments based on opinions propagated by their favorite politicians. Ako, wala akong paborito. Paborito ko ang bansa. Siguro ang paborito ko sa PBBM. Ang sabi nga ni Boss Mike, Sabi, 50,000 daw sa sabay-sabay dito sa Pilipinas. Saan na nakuha yung affirmation na yun? Pakita nyo sa akin na at one time, there will be 50,000 refugees. And pakita nyo sa akin, if there is any instance of Afghan refugee, terrorist attack, para to substantiate yung argument ni BP Sara. Oh, Trexie, pakita mo sa akin na kan. Ang evidence na mayroong terroristic attacks. Yan pinapalabas sa mga... Remember, we are in full control. Hindi pa nagdi-decide si Presidente. Pinangungunahan na natin siya. Anong gusto niyo? Yung katulad ni PRRD na orara de la magdesisyon na manayata ni Sara Duterte sa kama niya? O tuwal ni Sen IMEE na dahil sa puot niya sa Amerika, anti-American siya. Kaya sa pera na ang bansa, basta anti-American siya. Samantalang kapatid niya ay nag-iisip para sa bansa. Oh, ngayon na, darating din si Senate President sa Subiri sa stage. Nangihingi ng audience tungkol sa economic development. Hindi ba makaka-apekto yung talks niya sa minor, in charge of the US government so far is President Biden. We need economic development. Huwag na tayong pagmamangan pa. And to attack Babes Romualdez as tuta ng kano, that is not the job of Babes Romualdez. Ang job ng ambassador, tawag na ambassador is to keep the good relationship between the two countries, the host and the mother country. So whatever is the request, it could be relayed to the president. Is that being a tuta of the United States when you relay the request of the U.S.? Then you are not. Then you are not a good ambassador if you do not relay the request. Simple as that. Oh. Diyos sa ating bayan. Lahat po ng kinakailangan ng kalingan dahil sila po ay pinipersecute ang kanilang bayan. Mayroon ba po kayong lugar sa Pilipinas? Sabi niya, asylum seekers are welcome in the Philippines. Policy of PRRD. Aren't they? Sasot herself said that they are asylum seekers. And yet, according to her, you should not welcome them because they are asylum seekers. When it is the stated policy of PRRD na asylum seekers are welcome in the Philippines. Hindi. Pero lang kung requested by US, yung ba? Sasot? Baliwala yung policy ni PRRD. Yung ba PRRD? Depende sa nagre-request? O kung maski walang request. Pero pag ang nag-request ay US, pwede na. Ano yung pulisya mo? Asylum seekers are welcome in the Philippines. You make a decision na if it is requested by the US, hindi na pwede. President Rodrigo Duterte himself reiterated the Philippines' willingness to accept refugees in his first ever speech before the United Nations. Technically, ikaw, empleyado sa ng United States. Pero lumilikas sila sa bansa. So, in reality, they are refugees seeking humanitarian refuge. Why are these real refugees? Because their lives are in danger. Why would they seek asylum if they're not fleeing from their country? And if you are fleeing from your country, you are in reality a refugee. The Philippines continue to honor the humanitarian law. Diba? Ang pagtulong natin sa mga lumilikas sa bansang Afghanistan dahil takot silang makitilan ng buhay. Diba? We are helping them humanitarian way if ever we will accept the request. In accordance with our obligation under the 1951 is the year I was born, Convention on the Status of Refugees and the 1967 Protocol. Meantime, Rocket said he is leaving it to the Department of Foreign Affairs to comment on whether the Philippines will recognize ibang klase mo yun sa diplomatic relations. We leave that wholly to the DFA. He said, according to the UN, with at least 400,000 Afghans now have been forced in 2021 fighting under displaced with their own country. Okay, no wonder the United States is overwhelmed. Kaya humihingi ng tulong. Humihingi po ng tulong, hindi po dinidiman ang tulong. Malinaw ba yun? We are in full control. We could grant the request or we could, sabi nga ni Ambassador Romualdez, upon the recommendation whether to approve or disapprove, kung ano man ang recommendation, subject to his approval or disapproval. Hindi katulad ni President Duterte na basta gumawa na lang ng aksyon. Walang consultation whatsoever. Mas gusto niyo ba yung style na yun? Ang tanong ko sa inyo, nung siya gumawa ng aksyon, wala nang complain. Siya namin hindi nagpatawag ng Senate hearing. Si Mayor SARA Duterte, she was at that time contemplating running for president. Mayor lang siya. Didn't even complain kasi tatay na siguro. Tanda natin, si Senami at once kinontra niya at sa aking pagkakalam si PRRD. Pero pagdating sa kapatid niya, panay ang kontra. Maka-DDS ba siya kaysa maka-Marcos? Mabigat ang tanong yan. Mabigat ang tanong yan. Mga loyalists na dapat mag-isip. Ay. Many countries are now bracing for mass influx of refugees as the Taliban reclaim power to the power in Afghanistan. Source, Philippine News Agency. Hindi ko imemto po yan. So, ano nangyari?
Aircon.
Babaan mo ang kami. Tasan mo ang kami. Maingay daw ang aircon. So, pinatatasan ko ang thermostat. Ayun, taas na. I will bear the discomfort para hindi kayo maingayan sa sound ng aircon po. Okay. Ang first comment is coming from GNL Penny. Good morning, Tata Jack. First, I admire and am envious of your political analytical skills. Thank you po, GNL Opinions. I admire and envious of your political analytical skills. Sabagay, siguro kasi wala pa akong sa balay. Hindi, ang base ko is based on pure analytical analysis. Hindi ako nakikinig sa iba. Ako ang unang who made this stand. Sinundan ni Antonio Contreras. Sumunod na Manila Times, if you read. Mayroon na akong kakampi, Manila Times. Pero ang nauna po, ako. Alam kong unpopular ang aking stand. Alam kong maraming bumabatikos sa akin dyan. Pero so far, hindi ba nagkakatotoo yung mga sinasabi ko? Sinong paniniwalaan mo? Si Saso? Na maraming kasinungalingan? You're mentioning goodwill as part of your argument in bringing the Afghans temporarily in the Philippines. Shows your deep understanding of the Philippine issues. Let us admit it. Nung una kong sinabi yung goodwill, binaliwala nyo. Anong pinagsasabi ng matandang ito? Alam mo niya ang pinagsasabi niya? What? I understand. My director wants me to click on the... Sir, I admire and use of your political analysis. You're mentioning goodwill as part of your argument in bringing the Afghans temporarily yeah, right. Philippines shows deep understanding of the political issues. Pero, ngayon, kayong nanonood, di ba, binaliwala yun when I first said it. Nobody even thought. Yung mayroon bang vlogger na nagsabi ng ganyan? Goodwill is very important in considering the decision. Hindi ako short-sighted. I thought accounting was your field, not political science. Accounting is my field. Partly, it was accounting that brought me to the conclusion that goodwill is important because I know what goodwill is in business. It's something that you cannot touch, but it's important in business. Kayo na nga nasa business, alam niyo yung goodwill. Jollibee is advertising because of goodwill. Gusto niyang, ang image niya ay maganda. All those advertisers are doing it because of goodwill. We want the customers, and in this case, other countries, to have goodwill towards us. Hindi lang United States. Once yung other countries say, mga Pilipino matulungan, why don't we help them also? Ano mangyayari if we summarily just reject the request just because we are anti-Americans? Anti-Americano yan eh. Huwag na natin tulungan. Napanood pala niya yung napanood pala niya yung interview ni Ambassador kay Karen Davila. He basically expressed the same views as you have given us. Hindi kami nag-usap ni Ambassador Romualdez, ha? Pero ang political analysis ko was echoed by Ambassador Romualdez. Di ba kayo nagtataka? May insider information ako kay Ambassador Romualdez? Hindi. Political analysis lang po yan. NICA, you are not persuaded by bloggers or influencers. Kaya nga, I took a stand. Masakit man sa akin. Minsan nawawalan ako ng subscribers because of my stand. But still, my effort is to inform you. My effort is to inform you. Okay, proceeding further. Ambassador Romualdez mentioned goodwill result housing the Jews in the Philippines. Now, Philippines do not need visa to visit Israel. Yeah, partly. But we are one of the 99 countries that does not require. Out of 196 countries, we are one of the 99 countries which the Israel does not require visa. And besides that, Israel is helping us militarily. What happens if we turn anti-Israel? Wala tayong goodwill sa kanila. Yung mga OFW natin hindi makakapunta sa Israel. That's why goodwill is important. Huwag magkitid po ang pag-iisip. Maniwala kayo sa tamang ang vlogger na tama ang political analysis. Nakita niyo yan? At one of the he was approached by two Vietnamese investors expressing their gratitude toward their Philippine stay. Hindi mo alam kung yung mga taong tinulungan natin ay magiging bilyonaryo. So yung goodwill natin ay may extend economically wise. Saying that they're doing well and are looking to invest in the Philippines. At one economic meeting, he was approached by two Vietnamese investors expressing their gratitude for the Philippines, saying they're doing well and are looking to invest in the Philippines. Ano yan? The result of the goodwill produced by the Philippines in granting temporary stay in the Philippines. Hindi po permanent stay yun. Temporary stay lang. Who knows? Yung mga isa sa temporary Afghans who are going to stay here will become billionaires also. Will become billionaires also. Present. Good morning, good afternoon, Jack First. Make a love shout out. Tata Jack First blogs. This is PBBM VP SARA and IMEE Unity team channel. Please observe the code of conduct rules set by Tatay. Always be respectful with one another and maintain your dignity at all times. Okay. Trixie, wag mo sabihin na sarado ang utak ko. I'm trying to prevent others to hear yung tape ni Sasot. Buti na yung pinakita ko na puro kasinungalingan yung sinasabi niya. Misinformation. Sexy Villa, mega love shout out. Lily Regasay, Ubach. GNL opinion is our cum laude. Tata Jack First. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Wala ba yung tinanggap ba ni, siya? Trixie naman. Since yung kababayan at mga bata, palagay mo kaya, kasi pamilya yan. Walang kababayan at bata. Trixie naman. Yung darating dito, puro lang ba lalaki? Ang narating? At hindi natin alam kung ang tungkol dito noon. Bakit hindi po natin alam? Sinabi ni Harry Roque, di ba? Kababasa ko lang. August 17, 2021. Siguro hindi niyo pinansin kasi si PRRD nagsabi. Tuwang-tuwa pa kayo. Hindi ba? Briefing yan on August 17. Nasa news yan. Pero dahil sa PRRD ang nagsabi, wala na complain. si IMEE hindi tumawag ng Senate investigation. Si VP SARA hindi na voice ng security concern. Unvetted pa yung mga, yan. Anong ibig sabihin ng unvetted? Walang background check. Anong kaibahan itong mga dating sa atin? Pinet na ng US at tutulong pa ang Pilipinas sa pag-vet. Bago sila dumating dito, narinig niyo si Baby Romualdez? I am sorry. General opinions is our summa cum laude. Box 3 is our magna cum laude. Texivilla and Lili Regasa is the first cum laude. Texivilla is our second cum laude. And according to SASOS, once they start from Africans in the US, they have no choice but to process the asylum. Yeah, I have no doubt about it. They are asylum seekers. Do you want me to go back to the statement of Abri Roque? Selective po ang memory ni Sasot. Hindi. Okay. Balik tayo. Selective po ang memory ni Sasot. He is admitting that yung mga dating dito are seeking asylum in the United States. Just to put to you the point na nagsisinungaling po yung Sasot Rogando na yan. Babasahin natin ulit. Asylum seekers are welcome in the Philippines. Misinformation sinasabi niya. Niniwala kayo? Anti-American na anti-American yan. Ang sasabihin niya, siyempre, puro anti-American. According to Saturn, these Afghans are in the United States territory. They have no choice. But, yeah, that's true. And in the process, kulang ang 59 days. Correct. Maybe kukulangin. Wala tayong dispute dyan, Texie. But per agreement, after 59 days, mapipili. Remember, batches yan. Di sabay-sabay na 50,000 yan. So, yung 1,000, pagdating ng 59 days, ay kailangan kunin na ng US. Either they dumped it back to the Afghanistan or they take the remaining in the United States. Simple lang. Hindi lahat dyan sabay-sabay. In batches ka. At saka, Isa pang hindi minention ni Sasot, yung pilot program po. Ngayon, sa pilot program, pag hindi kinuha ng states, yung mga hindi na-approvean, hindi na tayo papayag. Yan ang hindi ini-specify ni Sen. IMEE because malilintikan siya kung malaman ng tao na mayroong pilot program. Gusto niya kasi palabasin na very bad yung pagtanggap po natin ng Afghan. Anti-American na anti-American dahil sa galit niya sa Amerika na siyang nagpatalsik sa kanyang ama. Political analysis yan, ha? Iba si Presidente Marcos. Maski galit siya sa Amerika. Inaalala niya ang kapakanan ng bansa. Sa West Philippines issue na lang eh. Tahimik si Sen. IMEE when it comes to the bullying of China. Pero umalma si Presidente. At saka, pinag-usapan nila sa Amerika yung West Philippine Sea problem. Kinalimutan nyo ang galit niya sa States. Hindi bingador mo. Another example ay na hindi po bingador si Sir BBM, President BBM, yung sa corona case. Ito, ang tawag na, these are connected. Konektado yung mga yan sa personality po ng PBBM. Inuuna po ang bansa kaysa sa sariling emosyon. Katulad ng ama niya na mas ginustong bumitaw ng kapangyarihan kaysa masaktan ng mga Pilipino. Naman na ba ni IMEE yun? Hindi. Naman na niya ang nananatilit sa kanya ay puot sa mga Amerikano. It's a hard truth, but let's face reality. Let us face reality. Dito, maski maraming galit sa position ko, but at least you know that somehow my political analysis is almost always correct. As can be gleaned with recent events and news. Ito po, pati Manila Times na nag-agree na sa akin sa humanitarian factor. Pati bishops of the Philippines are agreeing. I didn't want to include it in my broadcast. But you search, Bishop of the Philippines recommended these people should be taken in as good Christians. It does not make distinction whether they're refugees or not. But technically they are not refugees. I'm sorry, something went wrong. Okay. Why are they, in reality, they are refugees? Because their lives in danger and they are fleeing from persecution. It's just a word. I said, Thank you for coming in early. The actual discussion of this will start in 45 minutes. Pakinggan yan yun. Pwede ba yung pakinggan? Pinakinggan, di ba, Trexie? 40 minutes from now. Pinakinggan ko na, Trexie. Oh, yeah. Totoo naman eh. Pinakinggan ko. Good morning, Cutie Connie. Rebecca Lemay is there. Of Butch Height 6 civilian. They were real Afghan refugees, but the ones sending are employees. Oh, ikaw naman, Connie. You're trying to define it in technical terms. Tanongin nga kita, are their lives not in danger? Are their lives are not in danger? Why are they fleeing their country? Okay, magandang sagot mo rito. Magandang punto mo rito. Professor, no, yes, yun sa stand ni Professor Carl, pakinggan online 7 minutes. Yeah, but remember, the same lines will be discussed. And you believe Professor Carlos, who couldn't keep her job in the national security as security advisor of President PBBM, who predicted that the Ukraine-Russian war will end in 2 weeks, in which PBBM said no. You believe her over PBBM? Let's face it, Professor Carlos is only after promoting herself. No, I realized that. Not sobrang galing niya. Napaniwala nga niya si PBBM eh. Kung yan ang posisyon ni Professor Carlos, bakit hindi siya naging nung si PRRD? Bakit hindi siya naging nung si PRRD? Tanong ko lang si Trexie. Bakit ngayon? Na wala na siya sa limelight, bigla na lang siyang nagsasalita. Ay, naku. And remember, nagsalita siya sa SMNI. Ano ang SMNI? Di ba? Anti-BBM. Isipin mo ang connection. Pumaya papel na naman siya sa SMNI para parating kukunin siya as a resource person. Yan lang ang palagay ko. Kanina kayo maniniwala. Maski magaling siya daw. Pero analysis-wise, sino ba ang tumatama? Don't mention Sasot, Carlos. Sino ang so far tumatama sa kanyang analysis? Lil Regat sa Mega Love Shout. Okay. Mega Love Shout, Cutie, if you have time, pakinggan mo yung sinasabi na di na kailangan. Pinakinggan ko na sa kanya. Akala mo siguro hindi ko ipi-play, ha? Binati ni Lili Regasa si Trixie Villa. Good morning, everyone, sabi ni Manang Biday. Manang Biday is from Pangasinan. Maria, good morning po sa sayo, sabi. Rebecca Lagmay is a cum laude. Sheila Masita is present. Kutikoni, binati si Lili Regasa, Manang Biday, Maria, Sheila Masita are, no. Sila pala additional cum laudes. Walang sound, okay? There is no audio, tatay, yeah. I will fix it. Shout out Tatay Jag first, done po. Sabi ni the warrior, Lili Regasa, big live shout out, Trix Villa. Yes. Okay. We can hear you now, Tatay, sabi ni Lili Regasa. Mami Lou channel is greeting the warrior. Sabi ni Lili Regasa is, yes, South Santa US is from the very start on. Kaya hindi mo papagkakatalawalaan ang sinabi niya. It was proven na puro kasinungalingan yung sinabi niya. Again, ang sasabihin ko sa inyo, sino ang paniniwala mo? Si Professor Carlos? Si Sasso? O si Bibs Romualdez? Ambassador, currently. Si Bibs Romualdez, isa lang ang argument ko. Mayroong mga, since he is in the government, mayroon siyang complete access to the information, being the ambassador to the United States. So, yung mga transmittal po, manggagaling po sa kanya before it's transferred to the DFA and to the President. Alam ba ng mga Sasot at saka Carlos ang kanilang nilalaman? Ang sa Sasot at Carlos lang ay puro conjectures and opinions, not facts. Sabi natin, kailangan natin ng ebidensya. Tulad ng pinapahamak ko sa inyo. When you say when they say there is a terrorist risk, napakita kayo sa akin ng ebidensya na there is a terrorist attack caused by a Afghan refugee. Simple lang tanong ko. Simple lang tanong ko. Sales Rose is here. 77,000, bakit 4,000 lang na process? Sige, matagal nga sila proseso. Kaya nga kailangan nila ng tulong. Hindi lang ang tayong bansa ang hiningan nila ng tulong. Ikaw na yan sumagot. Mabagal sa States. Dahil sa red tape, isipin mo. Ito, red one ko. Makinig ka. Kaya mabagal po sa States. Ang dami-daming visa applicants. Libo-libo. Siyempre, hindi na i-prioritize yung mga Afghans over the other countries. Ano ba naman? To cite that as an example. Ilan palagay mo there are 195 countries in the world, excluding 196, excluding the United States becomes 195. All of those nations attempt to enter the United States. Palagay mo, ilang visa application ang ipaprocess ng US? Dito nga, milyon eh. Oh. Saan mo nakuha naman yung information mo na 50,000 daw ay dadalhin sa Pilipinas? Oh, kaya siguro tutur ka kasi akala mo yung misinformation na pinapakalat niya sa Sostenheim is totoo. O, hindi na ako papayag kung 50,000 dadaling kagad. Remember, Red One, there is a pilot program. Una. Siguro mga pilot program, mga 200 or 500. Kung successful po yung pilot program, pag-usapan natin maigi, mahinahon po. Pag-proceed ang program to a greater number, and then per agreement po, pag may natanggihang application, ikukunin po ng United States at their expense. Wala tayong gastos. Gagasahan ng US ang pagpunta ng mga Afghans dito. Saan na pupunta yung pera? Sa mga Pilipino na mag-aasikaso sa mga Afghans. Hindi ba tulong yun sa ekonomiya natin? Yan ang hindi binabanggit ni Sasot, ni Carlos. Isipin mo, ikaw, kung gagasahan ng todo ng states, wala tayong gasa as per agreement. Saan na pupunta yung pera ng US? Sa Afghans o sa Pilipino na nag-aasikaso? Yung bibili yung pagkain, yung mga sweldo ng mga tao, kanina pupunta? Sa Pilipinas. Yung housing nila, babayaran ng states. Kanino mapupunta yun? Sa Pilipinas. Hindi sabay-sabay po. Yung 50,000, ay, pupunta natin. Sabi ni Babes Romualdez, 50,000 po ang total. At hindi lahat kukunin ng states. Ng Pilipinas. May iba-ibang countries na kukuha sa kanila. In fact, we can only accept about one, because of the vetting process, we can only accept what 1,000 siguro each batch. Don't listen to Sasso, Carlos. I hate to say this, even IMEE, saying that 50,000 was concerned with boss mine. He said 50,000. Saan natin ilagay yung 50,000? Where did you get that misinformation? Show me your info. Where it says that we are going to accept 50,000. If it is coming from IMEE and not from the government, that is just a figure that she's saying, not the government data. Anyone is free to present a number. Yeah. Nakuha naman si nakakatasa naman nakakaasar siguro na dahil sa nadwag si Biden, dapat sa Pilipinas ang bagsak. Ulitin ko, hindi lahat ay pupunta sa bansa po natin. Siyempre, kung may problema si Biden, hihingi ng tulong. Sinabi ko nga the very first naduwag si Biden because of the political hit. Totoo. Pero nagbigay siya ng mga concession sa ating presidente para matulungan lang siya. Pero matapang pa rin ng ating presidente. Sabi niya, we'll look into it. Anong ibig sabihin ng word, we'll look into it? Pag-aaralan mabuti. Pag pinag-aaralan mabuti, hindi sa ura-uradang decision. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng anggulo ay pinag-aaralan. Hindi ura-uradang nagdidesisyon. Nung si PRRD, ura-uradang decision, walang consultation, basta nag-decide lang siya, okay sa ating lahat. Ngayon, nagkukonsulta si PBBM, wala pa lang desisyon. Binabanatan nyo na siya. Anong gusto nyo? Yung style PRRD? Nagagawa na lang desisyon nyo. Wala nang consultation with ATC, wala nang cabinet level discussion. Siyang ginagawa ng presidente natin na hindi naman ginawa ni IMEE na magkaroon ng Senate investigation. Tanong ko, tatay, siyempre makadilaw yun eh. Kasi she came from Netherlands. Kung saan, nakandun si, I think, Joma. Socialist country po yung Netherlands. Liberal po. Doon siya yata nagturo ng political science yata. Kaya na-develop yung anti-Americanism niya. But it's funny. Nung 2021 na tanggap ng refugees, no matter what, unvetted, walang background check, wala siyang complaint. They were asylum seekers. Ha? Ngayon, may asylum seekers na binet ng United States. Tutulang mo tayo sa pag-vet. Sabi ng state, of course, will by your request to join us in the vetting process and your immigration law. Sabi sa interview ni Karen Davila. Sinong paniniwala mo? Sa saso? Na puro kasinungalingan? Pinum ko na sa inyo? Hindi siguro, that's a very harsh word. Misinformation. I'm sorry, Sasot Raugando, I misspoke. Hindi siguro kasinungalingan. It's misinformation. I apologize. But misinformation is the proper term. Siyempre, kung misinformation, i-repeat mo na i-repeat. At sabi yan, Leader Ragasa, Sasot is against ADCA. Oh, anti-China, anti-US siya. Pro-China. Dahil sa anti-America siya, And that's for she is against. Oh, he is against. I don't know. No. Ano bang sex orientation ni, sex classification ni SAS? Babae o lalaki? Sasot is against that ka. Can't expect her to agree about the Afghans. Oh. Kasi, agree siya pagdating si Presidente Duterte. Pagdating kay kay PBM, kasi request ng US, the US is involved, so against na siya. Mion Steven, good morning po. Evelyn Official, Mami Lou, no audio. You muted yourself. Sabi ni Maria, sorry po, nakamute. Sa akin pala yun, sorry, okay? It's alright. Kasi mahal na mahal kita, Trixie, kaya I acceded to your request na play po. Baka sabi mo, yung nag-i-skip ako. Good morning, Tatay Jack. Kape tayo, sabi ni Danny. Sending full support, Tatay. It's hard for me to trust Sasot, who calls PBM tuta ng US. Tuta ba na yung US? Yung nag-request si President Biden? Sabi niya, although nakahingi siya ng tulong sa state, we'll look into it. Pwede bang sabihin na lang ni PBM, hindi siya mahusay na presidente. Pag umuho siya, humindi siya kaagad. The proper, di ba? Di ba, yan sabi ko kay Simply Talkies, nung nag-collab kami, it turns out I am right. You look back. Ano ang proper sagot? We'll look into it. Diba, sabi ko. Di ba tama na naman ang analysis ko? Nung umakyat nga si Tokis na tuwalya pa yata. First name. Ang sabi niya, repercussion pag may terroristic attack. One of the reasons why I did some research is repercussion stuff. So naganap ako ng terroristic attacks ng Afghan refugees. Wala naman akong nakita. It's right there and then. Tama na may concern si Simply Talkies. But based on my research, wala naman parang terroristic attacks committed by Afghan refugees. So all those terrorism anxiety ay invented lang po. Mayroon. Sabi nga ni Romualdez sa hearing, if you were paying attention, it's practically nil. Ibig sabihin, practically zero. Nagsinungaling ba si Babes? Hindi. Hindi po nagsinungaling si Babes. Hi, Susana. Good morning ho sa lahat. Dandy Bases is here. May Dons is here. Okay, listen lang po, driving home. Hi, May Dons. Now, you can prove that I do not hesitate to criticize SARA, Prrd, based on their current position, hindi sa past. So you can tell your friends that I am not biased towards PRD. So when you talk to your friend, tell them what you hear. Okay, L-Style channel. Shout out a lot. Yes, agree with Ambassador. My son-in-law, family are grateful to the Philippine government. Oh, isa na yan na magpapatunay po. Yung goodwill na ginawa ng Pilipinas, na nakuha ng Pilipinas sa pagtanggap sa mga refugees is not quantifiable. It's just there. Yung mga bagong pasok po, mayroon akong pinisent po dito, yung mga hard questions which you have to answer yourself. I will not try to influence you. Nasa top po at the beginning of the program. Judy Basco, before I proceed, you can anyway, you're listening, you can glance at the top of the comment section. That loyalists and Filipinos should answer truthfully sa kanilang sarili ho. Okay. Di ba, be listening Tata Jack first. Okay, but go back to the first part. My son-in-law was only 2 years old at the time. Oh. Aloha, sis Lily Regasa sending huge one love. Lily Regasa, mahalo, sis Judy Basco, good afternoon. Ay, Diyos ko naman ito. Why is Babes in the middle of this? Why is he advocating the U.S.? Babes is an ambassador. Oh, ko naman. Siyempre, he is the ambassador of the United States, of the Philippines to the United States. It is his duty to relay the request of the U.S. to the President and Foreign Affairs. Sabi niya, he is not the one, if you are listening, he is not the one who is making the decision. He may give an opinion, but he is not the one making the decision as part of being an ambassador. Don't be so short-sighted, Red One. Maybe his ambassador, his main duty, his main job is to look after the welfare of the Filipinos. Isn't that what he's doing? Explaining the ins and outs of it. If it's an ins and outs of the request, does it mean to say that he should not? Come on, naman, Red. You're one of the better analysts. Why is he encroaching on the... Okay. Naku. Red One, ipinasa niya sa Department of Foreign Affairs ang request. Ang encroaching. Kung encroaching po, hindi na niya ipapasa sa Department of Foreign Affairs, diretso na sa President. Diba? Is that what you call encroaching? To first pass it to the Foreign Affairs Secretary? What kind of, I won't say it. Now, you are talking now the babes Romualdez. It's not the issue. You are attacking personally the babes Romualdez, not the issue. I don't know. Magandang PRD 10 of are small number. While now they are not refugees and in the thousands per batch. In the thousands, it's like that's again part of the agenda. Thousands per batch. Meaning, libo-libo. Nakakatakot pakinggan yung pagkasabi mo. 1,000 per batch? Yes. Yung matinanggap ni PRD, walang vetting. Ito po. They could stay here permanently. They are not refugees and in thousand, bro. Hindi siya comparable. Yeah. Hindi siya comparable because what yung tinanggap ni PRD have the option to stay. While yung tatanggapin po ng ating bansa from the Afghans 59 days ay hindi po mag-i-stay. Tama ka dyan. Okay. Ayaw nga mag-settle ng mga Afghans dito. Do you think they will opt to stay here in the Philippines? When they have a greener pasture in the US? Kung naman, mag-isip naman tayo ng konti. Gamitin natin ang gray matter natin ng konti. Sabi mo, and only 4 are refugees. Other are under visa. Oh, yun pala, you made my argument. Yung iba hindi refugees, 4 lang. Yung iba hindi refugees. So out of 137, 133 are non-refugees. Bakit tinanggap pa rin natin? Are you trying to argue for me, Red? Di ba yung sabihin? Hindi kailangan maging refugees to accept. Ha! 133 non-refugees tinanggap ng Pilipinas. Very good, Red. I didn't know that. Thank you for the information. Ikaw na lang nagsabi. Non-refugees, tinanggap natin. Other visa categories, not refugees. Since 2021 po. Mayroon na palang president. Thank you, Red One. O Trexie, yan na, patunay na hindi kailangan na refugee para tanggapin. Sabi ni Red One, 137 out of the 137, 4 are only refugees. So, ibig sabihin, 133 are non-refugee status. Tinanggap na natin. Ngayon, kung tinanggap natin, okay lang kasi hindi US po ang nag-request. Ngayon, dahil lang nag-request ang US na tanggapin natin panandalian, hindi na natin tatanggapin, mayroon na palang president na tumatanggap tayo ng non-refugee. Thank you very much, Red One, for the information. Appreciate it that you are honest and not hiding facts. Okay. Now, most of you viewers now can conclude after Mr. Red One presented the fact, and he has never been wrong, that the Philippines accepts non-refugee status. Okay, di ba? Okay, 133. Non-refugee. Anong argumento natin ngayon? Na kasi hindi sila refugee kaya hindi magagrant ng temporary stay? Well, according to Red One, they have been granting. We have been allowing. Afghan nationals here in our country. Kutikoni, Sekivilla. Your argument was just shut down by Red One. Diba? Sexy B, if you are honest with yourself, cutie Connie. Red One just shut down. Just shut down your argument. Na hindi pwedeng bigyan ng visa because they are not refugees. I'm very appreciative of you, Red One. At least you are honest in presenting facts. Miguel Shop, Ma'am Judy Vasco, Martis Plug. Tay, sumaglit ng punta ko sa board dan like po. Oh, thank you very much. Gio Fries from San Nicolas, Pangasinan. Hello, Lizel. Sa PBBM madali mag-process, tatay, compare mo naman doon sa United States. 195 countries are being processed by the US. Of course. Mabagal. Sa number of people. So, sa Pilipinas lang, milyon na ang napapaprocess ng papel. In 195 countries po yun. Oo. Peter, mali ka na naman yan sa sinabi mo. I'm sorry to say, na misinformed ka na naman dyan po. You listen to the interview with Babes Romualdez. Not the misinformation pinakakalat ng mga iba dyan. Ang total po ng refugees remaining na US employed ay 50,000. But according to, balikan mo, Redman, di ako nagsisinungaling sa'yo. Balikan mo ang interview. At sabi mo sa akin kung di tama po ang aking sinasabi. Hindi lahat yan ay pupunta ng Pilipinas. Redman, makinig ka naman sa akin. Hindi po ako nagbibigay sa iyo ng misinformation. Balikan mo yung interview ni Babes Romualdez. Hindi lahat ng 50,000 ay pupunta sa atin. And we have to deal with the number that we are comfortable with, that we are comfortable with. Hindi, yun na lang na kung di tayo comfortable sa 50,000 o sa 20,000, aminado ang United States. Aminado ang United States. Pagbibigyan tayo kung ano kung saan number tayo comfortable, balikan mo po yung interview. Hindi po yung misinformation ay pinagkakalat ng mga iba. Kaya siguro ganyan yung pagiging antay nyo because of the misinformation. Hindi kita mabiblame, Red One. Kasi ako rin, hindi rin ako papawayag kung yung 50,000 ay tayo lang ang magpo-process mo. Abutin ng taon-taon yan. Kung batches of 1,000, sabi mo 1,000, 59 days, 2 months. 6 times 1,000, the 6,000 in 1 year. In 6,000 in 8 years times 6,000 is 48,000. So, ibig sabihin, 48 years tayong magpa-process? Oh, Diyos ko naman. By that time, okay. By that time, gusto tayong mga Afghans. Di na lang pupunta rito. 1,000. Simple mathematics sampo, Red One. Kaya nga hindi pwedeng yung 50,000 ay babagsak dito sa lahat. Kaya huwag ka namang paniwala sa mga vloggers na nagpapropagate na ganyang uri ng kanta. Hindi iniisip ang kanilang sinasabi. I'm an accountant. I deal with numbers. That's why I could give you the figures immediately. It's up to you whether you accept it. But I've never been wrong in my political analysis. Remember that. When I said my goodwill, it was echoed by Babes Romualdez. When I said natuwag si President Biden, that's why he asked for her. It was translated by Sastrogando. I did not mince words. I did not hide the fact that Naduwag nga sila. They had no political will. Would you believe someone who can do political analysis with complete number analysis? And still, if you still persist, there's nothing I can do. There's only so much I can do. Sexy. There's only so much I can do. If batches nga yung pinag-usap, 1,000. Sabihin mo ng 1,500, di 4 months. So, 1,500 to 1,500, so 4,500. In 1 year. Okay. No, 1,500 times, 1,500 and it's actually 9,000 in 1 year. It's actually 9,000 in 1 year. 1,500 times 6 is 9,000. 48,000 divided by 6 is roughly about 45 when divided by 45, 9, 6 years. 6 times 6, 5 years, 6 times 9 is 45,000. 5 years process yung 50,000. Tama ba yun? Yeah, one. Do the math. So, may na ako sa math eh. But if you deal in numbers, you have to present the analysis in numbers. That is why it's not possible for the US to dump the 50,000 here because they want the process to be done immediately. That's why they are requesting several nations to do the processing. Shout out to Roger Evans. Before you make any comments, go to the top of the list or top of the commentary section and try to see the hard questions which you have to answer yourself. Hindi kita i-guide. I want you to see it before you text me or before you make a commentary section. That is the only favor that I ask of you. Everybody who came in late, please go to the top of the commentary section. While you are able, I will give you about 5 minutes to do it. Please, all those who are late, please go back to the top. I know that that most of you or some of you are pro PRD, and it saddens me that I have to point at something and tell me if I said anything that's wrong. You know, read until you come to Janelle's opinions up to the statement of Harry Roque. Read, please, all those who are late, because I hate to argue, and then but they have not read my opening statement. Shout out to you. You know you're one of the most valuable classmates I have. That's why I want you to be properly informed. You make some good points in our private conversation and in your commentary section. Don't you agree that I always reply? But Radman, don't you agree that I always reply? And to see your commentaries, because that's how much I respect you. Knowing that once you see the truth, you will not hesitate to admit it. Okay. Okay. Ang difference po dito, Roger. Okay. That's correct. Ang difference po dito, they promise, but walang agreement. Sa Philippine case po, sa Pilipinas, there is an agreement. The agreement is, after 59 days, except perhaps for medical reasons, which is, siyempre, kung medical ang reason, they have to be taken care of. Ililikas po ng US. And the US has to honor it. Kaya nga by experience, tama ka dyan. By experience, hindi nagkaroon ng agreement ng UAE na pag lumagpas ng 2 months, ay ililikas na po ng United States ang mga taong yun. Kaya ang resulta, nagkagulo. Alam ng Pilipinas yan. Diba? Kung matalino yung presidente, alam niya nangyayari. Tanong, matalino ba si PBBM? Hindi ba niya alam ang nangyayari sa UAE? Hindi ba gagamitin niya isang reason to demand that they keep the agreement? Hindi naman siguro bobo si Presidente na I hate to say this. Hindi naman siguro bobo si Presidente na the same situation in the United Arab Emirates ay mangyayari sa Pilipinas. Ganyan katalino ang ating presidente. Diba? Kaya nga hindi siya sumayag kaagad eh. Kaya nga hindi siya pumayag
What
kaagad.
happened to your math skill?
Kaya nga na may matikid na medyo na blank ako eh. And kinakantsawan ako ng director. I used to, when I was teaching accounting, just in a matter of seconds, the answer is always there. Kaya, I am 20% of my original self. Beside that, narinig niyo. Oh, hindi po ang ating presidente. Kaya nga when he was asked by President Biden, sabi, he'll look into it. Hindi ba, in constructing the agreement, he will cite example of Qatar or UAE. Come on. Maski ako na lang ang presidente. Hindi na si PBBM. No, nag-request ka. Ganito ang nangyari sa United Arab Emirates. Sasabi ko, ayoko na mangyari yan before we agree. Kailangan ilikas nyo. And there is a pilot program po. Roger, mayroong pilot program na hindi kagad malakihan ng numbers. Alam mo niyo po ba ang pilot program? The amount is 1,000. Mga 200 lang muna. When they process it, kung di successful, that's the end of it. Tingnan mo yung sabi ni Romualdez. That's the end of it, sabi niya. Roger, I am spending some time to discuss your concerns. Kasi mahal kitang classmate. No? Kung ako ang presidente, hindi na si Bubong po. I know what happened in UAE. Would I like the same thing to happen in my country? Of course not. Of course not, Roger. Sabi nga ni Romualdez, we are in full control. The numbers going in is determined by us. What numbers we are comfortable with. Roger. Kung ako presidente, kung hindi kaya ng 1,500 lang muna. Kung hindi kaya ng 500, 200 lang muna. Di ba? Kasi I will cite yung UAE as an example to the Americas. Oh, ganito nangyari po sa UAE. Ayaw namin mangyari sa Pilipinas. Di ba? Ngayon, kung yung pilot program po ay hindi successful, that's at the end of it. Kaya tumanggi na UAE na tumanggap pa naman. Kasi wala, kasalanan nila, hindi sila set in stone yung agreement na they will be ililikas, they will be taken away. Kaya nga, kung ako ang presidente, I will tell Biden, I don't want what happened in UAE to happen to the Philippines. Besides, lahat ng gastos po ay shoulderan ng United States. Ganun ba ang condition din sa UAE? Hindi ko alam. Can you tell me? Can you tell me, Sir Roger Evans? Kung the same conditions ang represent ng US na full cost ay babayaran nila? Can you present me with the data, please? In the case of the Philippines, all the full costs will be shouldered by America. Kanino mapupunta ulit ang pera? Sa mga Pilipino. Okay, it's good. Ang kay time, sige, tanggapin pero dapat nasa agreement na 1,000 per bat at tapusin niya. Oh, okay, I agree. Now, we agree with one another. Antay dyan. Sige, tanggapin. No. Pero dapat nasa agreement na 1,000 per bat at tapusin muna bago ba? Yeah, I agree with you. Perfect analysis mo. Wala kang pagkakamali dyan. Ngayon, kung hindi sinunod at si President Bongbong Marcos ay hindi po umalma, ako na ang unang bapati ko sa kanya. Hindi, I am not afraid na patukutin po si BBM. Ipahayaan niya ang sitwasyon na tayo ang mag-aasikaso sa mga Afghans. Ginawa ko na yun dati. Sa simpleng bagay. Tambala, yun lang. Pinatikos ko na si Presidente. Maliit na bagay lang. Sa malaking bagay pa, hindi ko papatikusin si PBBM. When it is the country that is involved, sa akin kasi, mas importanteng ang bayan muna ang asikasuhin. Ay, kaya, mga refugees po yun. Basta, yun na. Papadalang, pero kung padali, hindi naman, hindi masalang you are agreeing with me. Kasi yung mga napunta pala sa UA, refugees. Hindi po suportahan ng US. Ito, mga empleyado nila dati na who are, di ba, security risk. Alay na, sa question nga naman kami, na kaya gusto kong bumalik ka doon sa itaas. Sa question ko, which poses more threat to national security? Unvetted Afghans or vetted Afghans? Kaya ganun pala nangyayari. Puro refugees na unvetted. Ito, mga vetted po. Sasali tayo sa vetting process. Kung nakinig ka sa interview ni Babe Romualdez sa unang, sa latter part of the program, nandoon. Oh, vetted po. So, mapipilitan talaga silang ilikas yun kasi dati nilang empleyado. Samantalang yung nagpunta sa UAE ay mga refugees. Ako, ang bigat na sinabi mo, Roger. Kaya may responsibility talaga ang US tungkol sa mga dati nilang empleyado. I-compare mo dun sa UAE. Mga refugees pala eh. So, UAE, out of the goodness of their heart, accepted it. But there was no agreement. So, babalik tayo ulit dun sa agreement. Alam ni PBBM, kung ang presidente, hindi na ako sa PBBM, hindi ako papayag. The same situation ang mangyayari sa atin, katulad ng UAE. Nakukuha mo, Roger? Yeah, we how many numbers not in the 10,000 by Tajak? Yeah, okay. Ang sabi nga ng US, whatever, ito, Roger, whatever number you are comfortable with. Not in the tens of thousands. No way. Binigyan ko na the maximum is 1.5. So 1.5 in 2 months, in 1 year, it is 9,000. Out of the 50,000. So 9,000 times 5 years is 45,000. So ibig mo sabihin, 5 years nating i-process yan. Eh di na nagkamatayan na dun sa Afghanistan, yung mga empleyado nila. Kaya nga, humingi ng tulong ang US sa iba't ibang bansa. Kasi hindi kakayanin ng Pilipinas yung buong 45,000 o 50,000 na i-process po dito. Gamitin natin ang konting math. 5,000? So bagay. 5 years? So bagay, 5 years parang pera ang papasok sa atin. Pero pag hindi na sunutan ng agreement, tapos na ang agreement ng Pilipinas. Kumbaga sa business deal, nakikipag-business deal ka, kung nag-violate po ng isang party sa business, yung sa duties nila and responsibilities. Diba? Source of breach of contract. Okay. Maybe the Philippines accepted more in 21, if not. Okay. Tandaan punto mo rin. 22. The Philippines agreed to accept the Afghan refugees with certain parameters. They are seeking asylum due to fleeing conflict, persecution, and sexual assault. Do you think the Afghans fleeing the country through the request of US are not asylum seekers? O Red One, ikaw na rin yan. Pinabasa ko na yung. Well, do you think they will flee their country and go to other countries, notably the United States, if they are not going to seek asylum? Come on. According to President Duterte, asylum seekers are welcome here, even to stay. But ito, per agreement, hindi po mag-i-stay. Ilang beses ko nang inuulit, hindi are not allowed to stay. Ano ba naman? as per agreement. That the agreement to accept refugee must be government to government. Yeah, di ba? I don't know what you're talking about, but still, whether there is a government to government or not. What? What? Okay. My director. So the government is nothing else. See, it doesn't matter. The fact is, if you are an asylum seeker, you will be accepted in the Philippines. That's a policy po. Where else? Where in the statement of PRD, now it says government to government. Ano po naman?
7:38.
Ha?
It's 7:38.
Mhm. It is the job of the ambassador to relay the requests of the U.S. as part of his job. Naku naman. Naku naman. The part of his job is to maintain the good relationship between the U.S. and the Philippines. Naku naman, Red One. Okay, babalikan naman sa if you say U.S. government workers. Yeah, the more that we should accept them because that is a guarantee that they will not stay here in the Philippines. Being workers of the U.S., they expect benefits coming from the U.S. government which the Philippines cannot give to them. Please do not make any more comments because hindi ko na mababasa eh. Galit na po sa akin ang director. It's been more than 3 hours. Paulit-ulit na lang arguments natin. Gugustuhin ba ng Afghan national to stay here in the Philippines na wala silang makukuhang benepisyo? Ako naman, Roger. Red One. Di ba gugustuhin nila punta ng States? Kasi may benepisyo doon. Ikaw, so sorry. Tayo nga. Tayo nga. Gusto nating mapunta ng States dahil sa mga benefits na nakukuha natin. Iba pa tayo sa mga Afghan nationals? Di ba gugustuhin nila? So they are willing to, ang resulta po nun, because they want to go to the United States very badly, they will cooperate immediately, providing all the information. Ako naman. U.S. government workers, being workers, they will be compensated by the U.S. government. Do you think they will opt to stay in the Philippines? Kayong mga nanonood dito, kung ikaw ang Afghan, na dating empleyado ng U.S. government, na naisin mo bang dito ka tumira na wala kang makukuhang benefit sa US? O mas gusto mo mapunta sa US? Kayo na mag-decide. And the US does not allow these Afghans to leave the facility. Yan nga. Sabi nga ni Gibo, we do not want them to be considered as prisoner or detainees. That's why it must be limited number. Pride base, natural. Because they cannot leave our place until their papers are processed. Okay. If they do not, the US does not comply with the agreement, ito lang importante. If the US does not comply with the agreement, then that's the end of the program. If President Marcos just permits it to go on and on, after there's evidence na the US violated the agreement, ako na mismo munang papatikos. Alam nyo, hindi ako natatakot. Okay. Tajak, pilot program na within a certain period of time, ubusin ang pinadalang Afghan bago pa ulit sila magpasa. You don't understand, kaya ayaw na tumanggap kaya sumira ang US. Kaya nga. That is correct. So experience na ng US, sumira ang US. Gusto ba nila maulit sa Pilipinas? Ikaw na lang nagsabi, ayaw na tumanggap dahil sa sumira ang US. Di ganun din ang mangyayari sa Pilipinas. Diba? Yung maliit na isa pa. Yung mga refugees po doon, hindi po niya workers. Parang diferensya kasi, Roger. Mayroong diferensya. Dating workers po nila ito. Kaya kailangan nilang asikasuhin because it's part of the deal. Samantalang yung mga refugees, wala namang siya pakialam doon na were they workers ng US? Wala. It's apples and oranges. Yung comparison po. Ito mo? Sumira pala yung US eh. Di ipipresent yan doon sa agreement. Mangyayari ba ito? Ano ang consequences pag ito nangyari? Siyempre, magkakaroon ng diskusyon. And, sabi niya, the numbers that we are going to take in are numbers that we are comfortable with. Balikan niyo po ang sinabi ni Babe Romualdez na inaatake niyo dahil sa trabaho niyo. He's just presenting the facts. Is it abrogating? Yeah. It's his duty as a U.S. ambassador to maintain good relationship between the U.S. and the government. What do we expect him to do? To go against the request of the United States? This is not promoting the good relationship between the U.S. and the Philippines. Ano ba naman? Okay. They will stay for 2 weeks in the Philippines. Kasinungalingan na naman niya. Misinformation. Oh, kung was filed by Senator Marcos that they will be able to stay for only 2 weeks here in the Philippines. This info was not available before the inquiry filed by Marcos 7 days ago. Eh, misinformation po yan galing kay Sasot. Where are you getting all this misinformation? The visa is for 59 days. Yeah, it was done in October. Imagine that. October ang request. Hanggang ngayon, pinag-aaralan ni Bongbong Marcos ang sitwasyon. Hindi katulad ni President Duterte na urarad ang gumawa ng desisyon. Alin naman gusto? Yung style ni PRD, di sana ginawa na ni Bongbong Marcos na, okay, tanggapin natin. Anong sinasabi mo rin? One. Mali ka na naman ng misinformation galing kay Sasot yan eh. Kung misinformation binibigay, 59 days po yung visa. 2 weeks. Siyam, tayo ay nagiging biktima ng misinformation po. 2020 pa? Okay, very good. 2022 pa. Hanggang ngayon, wala pang desisyon. Samantalang si PRD, basta-basta na lang gumawa ng desisyon. Walang consultation. Ay, palagay mo, sinong mas tama ang ginagawa? Si PRD o si PBBM na may consultation effort. Bumalik ka ba dun sa hard question? Now you have to answer for yourself. Hindi mo siguro pinansin. Hindi mo siguro pinansin. Hello, Paul. Hello, I'm very happy Shine is here. Hindi mo siguro pinansin. Which would you prefer? Yung style ni PRD na basta-basta na gawa ng decision without consultation, without elevating it to the cabinet level, or yung style ni PBBM na aralin muna lahat ng angulo. Nag-isip kayo naman. Huwag naniniwala sa misinformation na pinagkakalat niya Sasot. Anti-American na anti-American. I beg of you na huwag nang magbigay ng... I would like to read all comments. Kasi paggagalitan ako ng darling direktor ako. Maawa naman kayo sa akin. Outside the Colombo na naman ako nito. Hello, okay. Tajak, you know what happens if some news online, but I work within Po. I cannot disclose where I work and I know firsthand Po. Yeah, I know. But that is because you're United Arab Emirates. Do you think that the situation in United Arab Emirates is going to be the same? The first place, mga refugees yun. Dito po, mga workers ng US. Dito po, I don't know the agreement of the UAE, pero dito, we are in full control. Do you think Do you think the PBBM is stupid to agree to the same conditions as UAE? Magtiwala naman tayo ng konti sa Presidente. Actually, I do not know whether maka-approve o disapprove. But I trust the President. Huwag natin pagmunahan. He will explain why the request was approved or disapproved. Why the request was granted or was denied. Bakit natin pinangunahan si Presidente? Talka lang ako. Wala kayong tiwala sa kanya? Mas may tiwala kayo kay PRRD? Kay IMEE? Pagkatapos na pinag-aralan masyado ni PBBM ang actual situation. Samantalang si IMEE, sabi niya, 7 days lang ago. Si BP SARA, ay ganun din. Naman. Wala kayong tiwala kay PBBM? Yung malabas sulod? May tiwala ka ba kay PBBM? Roder Evans? Red One? Trexie Angeles? That he will do the right thing? Remember, siya may hawak ng lahat ng informasyon. Don't you think yung situation sa UAE ay hindi na po nakarating sa kanya? Mag-isipan niyo po. Okay, last 3 comments. Whatever happens, last 3 comments po. Yes, Jack, you agree with me, but hindi yan na sinunod dito nangyari na po kaya nga po ayaw ng UAE, baka po hindi nyo naiintindihan. Kaya nga. Yan nga is subject to agreement. Yan, isasite po yan ni PBBM ang nangyari sa UAE. How can you guarantee that this will not happen? Do you think that the president is stupid not to bring it up? Do you think? Now, think twice as much with all these red flags. Sure ka na, oo, ka na lang sa US? When Duterte accepted, walang pasikot-sikot? Yan nga. Walang pasikot-sikot. Yeah. Basta nalaw lang yan. Samantalang ito, pinag-iisipan. Bakit? Nung walang pakialam ang US, itumanggap po ng Afghans. 133 na hindi po refugees. Pero nang nag-request po ang US, tutol siya. Red flag na yun kay PRRD. Bakit pag gumagawa ng pambubuli ang China sa atin, di ka siguro, di mo pinansin yung mga hard questions. ay wala siyang reklamo. Pero request lang ng US, magre-reklamo siya. Then I will not go to that extent. Sinunod ang proseso pag negotiated pa, mayroon ba ngayon? Yeah. Mayroon pang pinag-aaralan. Agreement, di pa nga tapos ang pag-aaral. Ano ba naman rin doon? I said last three, you insist. Paulit-ulit na lang ang argument kasi. But the fact is this, gumawa ng desisyon si PRD without consultation sa ATC. It was not elevated to the cabinet level. Ang difference niya, and these refugees or Afghans were not vetted. They posed a security threat because no background checks were made. Can you dispute that fact? Here, the US coming to visit our country temporarily are for former US employees, which the US vetted and which we will be participating in vetting. All costs will be shouldered. While yun sa refugees, you will shoulder the cost. I don't see it. Why you persist? Binigyan ko na kayo ng math. Na imposible, in 5 years, magpa-process tayo ng papel. Because the US wants it done immediately. That's why, hindi lang sa atin mapupunta, but hindi iba-ibang bansa. Sabi nga yan ni Romualdez eh. Sa dami po, ng I'll just greet Miss Maribel Sabala. I would like to greet Maribel. Maribel, please look at as a favor to me, look at my initial comments. Sa commentary. Yung may putrisi dito. She's tricky. Pinyang lang po, okay? I will grant you this. It's not guaranteed that their papers will be processed anywhere, or whether it be in the Philippines or US. It's not guaranteed that it will be approved. Yeah, correct ka dyan. Wala tayong disagreement. Yeah? If it's not approved, but per agreement, dapat, the US will have to move them somewhere else. As per agreement. And the Philippines should stick to its guns because of what happened in UAE. Okay, that's... Sorry, but it is... I will consider the security of our country anytime. Red one. Of course, it is going to be studied. But red one, can you cite to me, you're a good researcher, where the Afghan refugee poses a national threat due to terrorism attacks made by them? I have posed this question a long time ago. Please cite to me and I will change my view or I will rethink it. Can you cite to me an example of Afghan refugee? Refugee, hindi na yan employee. Refugee, mas malawak. Ito, employee, where they committed a terrorist act. Research po, and point out to me an incident for over more than 2 years already, whereby Afghan nationals, not the Taliban, or in other countries, committed terrorism. Please inform me. Give me the evidence. Oh, sorry, yeah. But I will be sorry also if there is an evidence that Afghan refugees committed a terrorist act. Dito mama, kasi hindi vetted yung mga yun eh. Dito vetted pa eh. Vetted. Pagpa-participate pa tayo sa vetting process. Can you show me one? Red one? You are honest kanina. You said that 133 nationals were not vetted but were accepted sa Pilipinas. I appreciate your info. Ang request ko lang, huwag magpapaniwala kasi sa misinformation na pinakakalat ni SAS na may connection po yan eh. Si SAS is anti-American. Si Amy Marcos is surrounded by Davila, by SAS. So naturally, may influential si Amy Marcos ng mga views ni SAS Rogando. Kung ikaw ba naman eh, parati mong kasama yung si SAS Rogando. Katapos ganito ang pinakakalat niya sa'yo, di ka pa somehow nai-influensyahan. Ngayon, alam mo na kung saan ang gagaling po. Si Assistant IMEE, nanggagaling siya kay SAS Rogando. See, I gave you more than enough time. I'm sorry. Yeah, sabi nga, hindi naman sigurado 100% per agreement. Kung di na-approve, kailangan kunin ng United States. Okay. Yeah, I love you all. Yeah. Again, for those who came in late, please start. The most important thing is the hard questions. Maski kayong dating were early, to study the hard questions which Tatay posed for you to answer. Kayo na mismo ang mag-answer, hindi na po ako. Maribel Zamara, how are you? Okay. I love you all. Thank you for healthy discussion po. Walang sama ng loob kasi nagdi-discuss lang tayo. But the practice, my political analysis was correct. Even SAS Rogando substantiated it. When I did the political analysis, such as saying goodwill and etc., it was on my own. Okay, I love you all. It's been too late. I am being signaled by my director to stop. O tadi ako lang muna naman ako mamaya. So anyway, because I love you, I extended my usual 2 hours live show. Thank you. Think it over. I may not discuss this again. So, bye.